is here live. It's their very first ever record signing in Canada. The band is here. Hundreds of people have been here for hours and hours and hours, getting everything from castanets to posters to CDs signed. Very soon, Duran is going to be live in MuchMusic, and that's this afternoon. So we ask you to phone us, to fax us, to contact us on the internet. Heck, if you live in the area, come on down and hang outside the window. We just may open them up and let you meet the band personally, face to face. That's all happening this afternoon in the next 2 to 3 hours. So make sure you tune in for D2 Day on MuchMusic, which is just about to start. Let me just put those numbers up on the screen once again, to phone us, to fax us, or to contact us on the internet. Write them down. The next 3 hours are devoted to Duran live at MuchMusic. So guys, what's the big deal with April 4th, 1995? What's the occasion?
What's the occasion? This is the release of our new album on it, and this is a very big occasion for us, and we're very pleased to be in Toronto today.
Simon? What's the big deal about April 4th, 1995?
It's the release date of Thank You by Duran, the album that we are pinning all our hopes on. It's some of the most beautiful songs ever written. We even cover a Led Zeppelin song, which you can hear now, and I'm dying for a wee-wee.
Okay, well, they will all 4 of them will be at MuchMusic, as I said, for the next 3 hours, for some of that time, live. They're going to be answering your questions by fax, by phone, and on the internet. So let's get into it. This is D2 Day at MuchMusic. Let's rock.
Have you ever heard of the name Duran?
Duran?
Yes, Duran. He's from the planet Earth.
I do not know of such things.
Come on out, guys. Boy, have I got a trip planned for you. We're going to go to every venue you've ever played in this city.
Every single venue.
Well, almost everyone, as much as we have time for.
Do you know what we feel like about nostalgia trips?
What?
Not good.
This one is going to be different.
Well, we're counting on you to make it exciting, Monica.
Okay, all right. Well, Duran are coming out with a brand new album. It's called Thank You. It's a collection of cover tunes, and of course they've sold 30 million copies of every other album.
None of them.
It's your what, 10th album now?
Something like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, it must be into double figures, I should think.
Okay, well, we're going to start back at the very beginning. I have a van. It's not a limo, but it's roomy.
It's got velvet seats, that'll do.
Yeah,
It'll
it
do?
counts, yeah.
Okay, let's get in. Let's pile in. Okay, while we're cruising, I'm going to play some tracks off the new CD. Thank you.
A very strange reaction. The more I see, the more I do. Something of phenomenon. Turn your body to come along. 'Cause one night.
Out of the van. Everybody get out of the van. This is it. Elmer Combo.
It's Elvis Monday! Wow! Now let's have a look.
So this is where it actually began. A lot of people don't realize that you guys did a gig here. This was your first gig in Canada.
First gig in Canada, absolutely.
The year?
The year was 1981, I believe.
I remember this gig really well.
You do?
Yeah, I do. There was people standing on tables everywhere,
yeah.
and everyone's so close because, as you said, it's this long, thin room, and they're sort of right there in your face.
What sort of response did you get here? Was there an audience since you really were nobody?
It was completely packed, and the audience went absolutely bananas.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You came out here, you were a brand new band, yet you had an audience. So what was the song that was doing it for you, causing the hype?
Planet Earth was the song. It was big news then, wasn't it, Nick?
Absolutely. Biggest news you can imagine.
Planet Earth.
What I mean, I am right with the song, aren't I?
Duran appears on stage with the clothing and with the hair and all that. He's totally removed from what happens musically, and that he felt that you had to have kind of a hook to get the popularity to make the band commercial. Do you feel that that worked? Is that what you were going for?
Well, in the first place, the visual. Do you mean the visual hook? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I suppose so. In the first place, we kind of we dressed up a bit because we wanted to get noticed.
And here we are.
At the C&E.
So you guys went from the El Macombo, teeny tiny gig, to opening for Blondie, 1982, right
All
here.
those people there. I don't think we played. There were people. We played in front of that stand, the big stand there.
Oh yeah.
And we were on a stage that was set back, so there's quite a big gap between us and the audience.
Mm-hmm.
But we definitely bridged the gap that night. I think it was probably the biggest leap in our career, really. The people just didn't want to let us off stage, did they?
Yeah, it was the best gig for us on the Blondie tour, without a doubt.
fantastic.
And it was at the time as well when Hungry Like the Wolf was just starting to break a bit.
Right.
And, you know, we'd never played gigs like this. It was the first venue we ever played of this size, really.
So let's talk about 1982 then.
Right. 1982. Well, that was a very big year for us. That was the year that we didn't stop. Really, we were in the studio. We finished the Rio album. Flew straight down from mixing to Sri Lanka, where we made the videos for Hungry Like the Wolf, Lonely in Your Nightmare, and Save a Prayer. From there, we went directly to Australia, where we began what was to be our first real world tour, and things really started building there. From Australia, we went Australia to London, stopped off for about half a day, and then came over to America and started the big tour here. Well, no, we started playing small dates, and then we got on the Blondie tour. And then we got on our own tour, didn't we? Then we just accelerated. It was a bit strange because we came off that tour from a tour which took us from being up and coming musicians to reasonably important rock stars. And we went back to the same little flats in England that we were living in. It was really strange. You know, we'd had hotel suites and all this stuff. It was really weird.
Interesting video at that point, 82, was probably, I would think, the one that got the most reaction, Girls on Film.
Yeah, that was 81 we made it. It probably came out 82, I suppose. Yeah, that got a lot of reaction. But I mean, why we made it was for clubs. When we first came to America and we were doing club tours in 1980, we saw these massive video screens in clubs. And they were playing just abstract imagery on the video screens. And we thought, well, it'd be kind of cool if we could hook up our video and have it run in sync with the track. You know, these were pretty Neanderthal days regarding technology. And so we made one.
Is this open? Can we get in?
No, it's not open.
And we thought, since it was being shown in clubs, you know, it could be a little bit more...
Racy?
something like that.
Yeah. And who directed that one?
It's Godley and Krem directed that.
Yeah.
Anything else relevant about 1982?
I was 20 years old then. I suppose that's quite
Were
relevant.
you 20?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
What do you say like that for? What's oh my God
Because
for?
I can't imagine the headspace of somebody 20 years old and being in this incredibly successful machine. I can't imagine.
Is this worth it? I mean, is all the work that you're putting into this really, are you reaping the rewards?
Well, you know, if we...
Not yet.
No.
No.
Well, we are, because like this time last year I'd never been outside of England. I'd been to Paris and that was about it, and like now we've been practically everywhere.
It's very hard work, but I mean, it is also the most enjoyable thing I've ever done, and I wouldn't like to do anything else.
Yeah, but we never even thought of ourselves as successful. I mean, that's the whole thing about it all. It's only when you sort of stand up there and look down, it gets scary. You know what I mean? Well, if you're doing what you're doing, if you're working hard and you've got your circle of friends around you, it doesn't matter how successful you are. I mean, occasionally your life gets a bit difficult because you can't go shopping and you can't go out.
Say can't get a reservation at the restaurant you wanted on a Friday.
But you know, you've got each other to keep you firmly kind of down to earth, really.
Restaurant reservations. Let's go. Let's go. In just moments.
Yeah.
In just moments.
We're going to do the news.
We're going to jump years and take you to a whole other era for Duran Duran.
Oh, and they shoot, shoot, shoot. Beat him up until the teardrops start. But he can't be wounded because he got no heart. You think you're alone.
Does this bring back any memories?
Well, I never actually saw it from outside before. We arrived here at night. Well, we did sound check the day before. We worked here. We had a very long day's work actually, because we were shooting the video for
The Reflex.
Reflex here with Muscle Mulcahy. Muscle Mulcahy. Muscle Mulcahy. Russell Mulcahy. Yeah, and we did it in there.
Why Toronto? Why not New York or Los Angeles or?
Probably a better union rate.
Yeah.
What?
No.
What did you think? Oh, because the Canadian audience is so wonderful.
Yes.
We just knew that we were going to get this great reaction.
So that was kind of a strange video.
Well, we were on tour. I'll tell you why it was really Toronto. We were on tour and the third single off the album was coming out, and we really needed to make a video, and we couldn't stop. All the dates were booked.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, you need it this week. So where are we this week? Toronto. And everybody came into Toronto. And it wasn't a case of what should we do with it. It was going to be a live video.
So it was just like in the right place, right time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Here.
What
was the
touring year for us? I mean, you know,
it was the year of Band-Aid.
No, it was 85.
No, 84. Bandit was 84.
Band-Aid was 84. Live
Yeah,
Aid
Live
was
Aid was
85.
85.
That was at
You're
the
right.
end of that year.
Yeah.
You know, but that was our massive kind of breakthrough, really, wasn't it?
You've had a lot of massive breakthroughs,
Breakthroughs,
though, right?
yeah,
The Blondie thing, Live Aid.
There's a lot of things that happened that year, I'm sure. I mean, to me, I just remember the whole thing with that we were still going through with Culture Club and Spandau Ballet and that whole English scene, and everybody trying to make things happen in North America and Canada.
Right.
And we were over here, having toured here a couple of times on the first album and on the Rio album, and not had that much success. Suddenly Hungry Like the Wolf had exploded, and we'd gone away to do the follow-up album, which was the Seven the Ragged Tiger album, and come to tour it, and we'd gone from playing sort of clubs to 2 nights at the Maple Leaf Gardens.
Yeah, it's quite a shock. Big shock.
Around this time?
Hairdressers, makeup artists,
Girlfriend, in my case.
So let's talk about...
Well, just actually, it was just around that time. It was after this tour that I moved to Toronto and got a flat in High Park.
That's right. You have some personal history here.
Yeah, I got a personal history with a Canadian girl called Claire, who was my girl for a while, and I was her boy.
Anything else you want to add to that?
No.
Just thought I'd try. So what about the look at this point? 84. What was the...
It was pretty
gloss.
bouffant at this time,
Yeah,
I think.
we're
I think
talking
so. You're
bouffant,
talking
lip
big.
gloss.
Your hair was big and blonde, right?
big.
It was
It
boofy.
was
It was
boofy.
boofy. It was a big streaked kind of boofy thing happening.
Glossy.
Yeah, well, so was everybody else's, you know.
Well, I know, but you had that black and white outfit and the reflex.
That's right. It was the white jacket with the little black bits on the collar and the black arms to it, and the gloves without the fingers on.
And you looked so sweet. You looked so innocent and sweet, Simon. You really did. But you didn't. You looked sort of dark and decadent. Didn't you?
And now he
I
looks
hope
all
so.
sweet.
Look at how cuddly I am. Yeah, I mean, we had a good time in the 80s.
Lipstick all over my keyboard player.
During that time, and we really discovered America.
This was 84?
This was 84.
Okay.
That was 84.
Okay, let's go to the next year, next location. Onward and upward, back into the van.
Was till insane. We'll meet again. We'll meet again.
This is where MuchMusic used to be. Back in what, 1985?
This was also the year that you guys did the James Bond movie soundtrack, yeah?
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. View to a Kill.
Now what about the other one, Save a Prayer? Wasn't that also a big hit then? Because it was actually on an earlier album, but it was released for some reason in the mid-80s.
This is where my memory's going a bit thin, because I only ever remember it being a hit on the Rio album.
Yeah, I think what happened is that when we released our live album from the 84 tour, Save a Prayer was on it, and it was re-released in Canada and North America.
Right.
Only because you didn't get it the first time, which was very naughty of you.
It was also the year that Duran started to splinter, yeah?
Yeah, we splintered because really John and Andy wanted to do a rock record, and Simon and I wanted to do something a bit more alternative. And so they did their rock record with the Power Station, and we did Arcadia, and you know, they're both good records, I guess. I think ours was better, but there again I would.
Election Day, yeah.
Yeah, I like that song. I mean, I think we wrote it bearing in mind that, you know, there'd be an election every year. Sort of, well, how many years is it here? I don't know. It's 4 in England, isn't it? And we thought, well, you know, somebody's bound to use it for the campaign, right?
The look changed here, didn't it?
Well, it had to. It was a different band, you know. So Arcadia, and I thought, how on earth are we going to make this pretend that Simon and I really aren't in Duran?
Blondes out of Duran suddenly had jet black hair and jet black eyebrows. Your heavy makeup days. Oh dear.
But it was kind of cartoon-like, actually, Arcadia.
Yeah, it was cartoon.
Yeah. I mean, in a funny way.
Nick and I came here with Arcadia.
I think it was Erica at the time, wasn't
yes, it was.
Erica.
Oh God, right. I mean, we had a great interview actually. It's very funny and
very puerile. It's the word that comes to mind.
Water Pistols is actually the word that comes to my mind.
Interview with you. So
Let's change the subject.
Okay.
Look what I got.
All right.
Isn't that lovely?
It's very lovely. Now,
look, it's so heavy.
Some of those girls
You watch this.
outside,
Can you get? Look at that. Come on, Elsa. Where's Elsa?
Here we are.
do I get a special?
A little brush down, I think.
Oh, thank you so much. Just on my nose would be fine. Thank you very
that
much.
was Elsa.
What's interesting is your choice is so eclectic.
One of them were our favourite.
Tickling. Yes.
Now,
What would you do if I took that piece of paper off you?
She'd be stumped, I tell you. Okay,
No,
put
I
that
would
camera
say-
back on. Thank you. You listen to me, not her. You take yours off first.
now that you've worked,
blushing.
I know.
Music. The best video TV station weekday.
Oh, okay, I won't even look. I'll leave them. I'll leave them. All right?
leave
I'm going to wing it. I'm going to wing it.
Okay.
All right.
What?
No, come on. No way. No way.
Oh no, he's not on TV. No, he's not. Get him off. Get him off. Get him off.
Simon versus Simon. That's great.
You should be ashamed. You bring a bad name on Simon's.
Fourth song.
Don't tell me.
There's a,
I said don't tell me.
Okay, all right.
That's it. Okay, that's it.
Oh, wait.
Uh-oh. Oh, no!
Okay, now this is where we take over the program.
Okay, yes.
We'll take care.
How long is it that you've been working for MuchMusic?
It's
Tell him. Tell him. Tell him.
I'll tell. Just don't shoot. Okay, it's been 7 months.
Whoops! Whoa!
I've done it all.
Have your cake.
I had a large piece of cake on my mouth now. Now all I have to do is to get you.
The union of the cake!
I sometimes think of you guys as the band that's had more makeups and breakups and makeups and breakups than like most people I know. It's almost like a marriage thing with you guys.
Nobody else really broke up and made up like we did. And of our generation of bands, absolutely, yeah.
So what's the deal with that? You've had more bands and you've had marriages,
Well,
huh?
we haven't actually. I mean, it seems like it, but there was one split. You know, Andy and Roger left. Warren came in. He's still with us. You know, and Warren's been with us for 9 years now. That's longer than Roger or Andy was ever with us. We just never really got a permanent drummer in for whatever reason. Whether that was they weren't quite the right sort of style drummer, or maybe it's because we kind of got a little bit more picky. And we'd started using drum machines as well, and figuring out that we could do a lot of that kind of stuff ourselves.
It's good for us actually not having a drummer, because the way we write, we tend to look at the song and the musicality of it, and drummers, you know, when you write with them, they just bang everything all the time. They really like hitting,
exercising themselves and flexing their muscles. They don't really contribute that much to the writing thing, and that's I think we all see that as our kind of
serious drum bashing going on here.
Yeah, really.
I love drums. I mean, I love drums and I like drummers
too.
I love drums too. We all love drums, really, honest.
When I was 11, I started playing drums.
Drummers are the problem.
Okay, but I still want to get back to the relationship thing. Not that many bands have broken up and then managed to get it back together again and find success.
Yeah,
you know?
Okay. Well, it was getting John back. That was the real one after the power station thing.
So how did it happen?
Well, Nick and I said to him, look, you know, Duran's 20 times better than the power station could ever be. You know, do it as a hobby, but don't waste your time. You know, this is your real job.
So then what happens? He winds up in an Arcadia video.
Yeah, he did actually do an arcade.
Which one?
The one for The Flame.
I notice we still haven't talked about women. What about people who say that, you know, male-oriented, male-dominated rock and roll exploits women? Because you guys always had beautiful women around.
I think that we have probably exploited women just as much as any other band have, if you look at it like that. But we've always, I don't know, I think we put our women up on a pedestal. I'm not quite sure. To us, normal life has women in it, and I think our videos reflect that.
I think we have the ultimate respect for women, because we love them so much. It's not. I think women in our videos have always looked fantastic, and we've made an effort to make sure they always look great. And you know, if you're talking about something that's mainly about the visuals, the most important thing is to make sure it looks good. And what else can you say?
Does any video stand out in particular as being a really beautiful video with a really beautiful woman?
Well, I think Notorious.
Notorious?
Had probably the biggest selection of beauties in it.
No time.
Are solo careers a reality now for Duran Duran, or is this something you just had to get out of your system?
No, I mean, we did that whole thing it was just like a holiday. It was a bit of a change for us. I think we just needed a break at the time, break from Duran.
I don't think, we could not have made this record as a direct follow-up to, you know, the last one. It wouldn't have been anywhere near as good. I think it would have been very fraught, because Roger was already losing interest in the business, and Andy was losing interest in the band. He was losing interest in being in a band.
Yeah.
And I think, for everything that we said when we were doing our individual projects, we never had any idea just how useful those experiences were. I don't think we could have made this record as strong as it is without having done those.
Obligation to the nation. Born to fusion. Born to fusion. Got what you want yesterday. Born to fusion.
what? We're at the Diamond Club, which is now called the Phoenix. Does this look at all familiar? Does it?
Yeah. We played here in
Halloween. The Halloween gig. Okay,
88.
and this is where Warren is now a real member of the band. Yeah. How was it different for you? Because you came from a pretty wild band. I mean, Missing Persons, pretty out there band. And then you're on the road with these guys. What was it like?
It was totally smooth transition for me, because Missing Persons, we were a pop band in the end. You know, we were making music that we hoped people would like, as opposed to with Zappa, it was more of a, you know, a cult thing.
Yeah.
So, you know, getting in with these guys, and I had always had a British producer manager for the first few years of Missing Persons, Ken Scott. So I was around British people a lot in Missing Persons. So here I am now. I live in London.
This album was what, big thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, you guys did a 9-city club tour when you played here. So after the heady days of 84, 85, 86, here we are, 88, we're in a club. What was that like for you guys?
Well, there's something always great about playing in a club. It's not, you know, you can't look at it as a come down. You always look as if you're building to something else anyway. But playing in a club, you're right there with everyone. It's a great feeling, and we try to do it as often as we can, even now.
Intimate, then.
Yeah. I think you get there's something about standing sort of this far away from your audience, which you often do in a club, and it gets more out of you because it's a much more personal performance. People are that much more aware of whether you're acting a part on stage or whether you're really giving something from yourself when they're that close to you. In a big stadium, you kind of get carried away by this huge kind of collective sort of mass vibe.
What was your point of view being on stage and suddenly you don't have girls going,
"Ah!" Here at Diamond Club.
Yeah.
When we played here. Well, this wasn't actually, it was a particularly odd show because it was Halloween.
So everyone was wearing very funny clothes and looked as funny as we did.
I remember it's so funny because John came off stage afterwards going, oh, they really didn't like us, you know. Did you see the looks on those people's faces? And I said, John, it's Halloween, they're wearing masks.
Well, we certainly know that a lot of very strange things happen on Halloween night in Toronto, but perhaps one of the strangest is happening right here outside the Diamond Club. Duran Duran, where if you wanted to see this band last year, you had to go to the CNE Stadium, tonight are playing right here at this Toronto club.
This is sensation, power rotation, killing the friction, and watch me make it. Make it up, make it up, make it exciting. So glad you came along. This time you won't be wrong. You have to turn it on, and you must be the only one.
I waited for approximately 5 hours for tickets, and the ticket guy showed up late.
Okay, I traveled 250 miles to see this show, a 5-hour bus ride, and to be this close, it was worth it.
I got my friends back here. They're die-hard Duran Duran fans. We live for Duran Duran. We live and breathe them.
Hey, take a chance, even if it's only while we're dancing in the light of your second sight. Because when you understand me, you might feel good around me now. I don't want your love, bring me down. No, I don't want your love to turn it around.
Big song off the album?
I Don't Want Your Love was the single when we came here.
Yeah.
And then wasn't there the other one, the All She Wants Is? You love that one?
That's one of my favourite songs and videos that the band's ever made. Yeah, I
Why?
love it. I just think the song was right in with the kind of with the house scene that was going on at the time. It was slightly acid sort of sounding, and but we kind of added our kind of sensibilities to it. And the video was made by Dean Chamberlain, who'd worked with Nick and I on Arcadia before, and it was all created out of stills.
Yeah.
And for these stills, you had to sort of stand still for about 5 minutes while he of the camera and lit you with a torch in a darkened room. And we figured it out that if we were going to actually do that and make this video ourselves, we'd spend like 3 weeks in the studio. So we had dummies made. So Duran Duran really
I'm
was a
not
bunch
going
of
to touch
dummies.
that. I'm just not going to touch that.
Shack it up.
Let's go back to the band, yeah?
Yeah, you get a heated
Go back to
mic,
the band.
you'd be doing a lot better.
Whoops, whoops,
Had a love-hate relationship, should we say, with media. You've been media darlings. And
Can we let's clarify that. The media have had a love-hate relationship with Duran Duran. We never said anything about the media. You know, as far as we're concerned, it's the media. It's a form of expression. It's a way of getting across. I mean, you're one kind of a media.
Well, what kind of media am I, Simon?
Well, no, you're kind of. You're the good kind.
Oh, of course, yes.
No, but I mean, it's a way of getting yourself across.
Electronic media you are.
Yeah, but
No, seriously.
we've had some serious slaggings, particularly in the press.
The worst thing is...
But I think that's what this band's like, you know. We've always inspired an extreme reaction, whether it's love or hate, and I think it's always going to be like that, and we're not scared of it.
Well, the bad thing is, though, we write music, and a lot of times it really has nothing to do with the music. They won't even listen to the album. They'll just say, oh, like for this album, maybe they might just say Duran Duran covering Sly and the Family Stone, please, I don't want, no thank you,
I think there's a more inherent problem with the media and us, really, is when we came out, we sort of signified a big change in music, that whole time period at the beginning of the 80s. It wasn't just us. I mean, there was a lot of bands coming out, and there was a new scene, and it was like bringing in the new guard. And a lot of the journalists that had been there for a while didn't want that. They wanted to cling on to, all the bands from the 70s. Yeah. And it's always the same, and I'm sure that now people that grew up with us are becoming the journalists of the time, and they're going to want to cling to our generation. They don't want some of the younger ones. It's always going to be like that. Then, of course, you'll get a couple of hip acts that come through, and they'll say, right, we'll build them up for 6 months, and then, we'll give somebody else to take shots at. Once you understand what it is, then I think, it makes the whole thing much more palatable.
You know what? We've been talking Toronto. What about the rest of Canada? And any sort of favorite gigs or favorite memories?
It's a nice place to play.
Vancouver?
Yeah. Is that Canada? Yeah, that's Canada. British Columbia.
Canada.
Oh, Montreal. So we've had some great shows in Montreal at the Le Club, I think it's called.
Edmonton.
Edmonton has that marvellous shopping mall, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. The West Edmonton Mall. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my memory of Edmonton.
We record one once at Medicine Hat.
You did?
We did a live broadcast from a show. So I'm sure it was either Edmonton or Medicine Hat. One or the other. Quite possible. Because that was a really good show. We played it in a hotel. I remember driving up to the from the airport and seeing this hotel and sort of tonight performing Duran Duran. I mean, playing at hotels is always pretty scary. It's just, I don't know, it's just the vibe of it.
It's all-you-can-eat buffet right underneath Duran Duran. It's definitely discouraging.
Inspiration is what you are to me. Inspiration, love to see.
Everybody out. This was the big comeback. This was the wedding album, as you called it in Britain. Here you called it Duran Duran. First of all, why did you call it Duran Duran again?
Because it's our name, and we wanted to remind people, Really, it's that simple. And we hadn't released an album called Duran Duran for about 12 years at the time. And we got the artwork back, actually, and there was just Duran Duran in the middle because we didn't have a title at the time, and it looked so great. We thought, why clutter it with something else? And that was really it.
So what do? We come back here.
Yeah.
We didn't even bring electric guitars. We had nothing. We had acoustic guitars. We had a string section, and we played. It was a promotional tour, and we just played an acoustic set.
My head is stuck on something precious. Let me know if you're coming down to land. Is there anybody out there trying to get through? My eyes so cloudy I can see you.
When I was outside with a lot of your fans, and there are a lot of fans out there, it surprised me how many of them are very young fans, and many of the bands of your tenure faded.
We don't come over like this kind of aggressive, macho sort of band. We don't. I think there's something quite vulnerable about us, and I think that and something quite self-questioning, you know, sort of. I think that teenagers can identify with that because we're always saying, "Is this right? Is this right?" In the music, it's like I don't quite know what's going on with my life, and that is one of the underlying themes of all of our songs.
This is planet Earth. You're looking at planet Earth.
How did it feel to have this huge comeback?
Well, it wasn't that huge. I mean, we could have been coming back doing the CNE, you know, and we came here instead. It was fantastic to come and to play again, you know. We hadn't been on tour for a few years because the Liberty album we didn't tour. And, you know, I think it's good to have a break between tours because then you really enjoy doing them.
Right.
If you just do them all the time, it becomes mundane. And when we did this particular thing, we really hadn't done anything for ages. And, you know, the record had been really well received. And we got this little acoustic show together very, very quickly. So it was a bit rough at the edges, which was kind of nice too. And
So it was about 1992, and the look of Duran Duran had changed drastically at this point.
Hasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, we're into velvets and plastic
Leather.
and, yeah. It was kind of it was a weird sort of like punky retro thing which we kind of kept with, really.
But haven't we
you know?
always been into velvet, plastic,
No,
leather?
we weren't. No. It was much more designed before that, and this was much more kind of. It's like
Contrived. It was more sort of contrived before that, don't you think?
I always try to contrive everything, Monica.
Do you have any memories about the gig at the Danforth Music Hall?
We did a meet and greet with the record company people across the road there before the show. I just remember this guy in our pants who wouldn't leave me alone. Do you remember him?
Well, he's going to be calling the station, I'm sure, 'cause I'm sure he remembers because we couldn't stop commenting about his cow pants.
That's my memory. Cow pants, you are my memory.
Okay, everybody back in the van. Back we go. Guys, everybody out of the van. So how was it?
Sorry?
How was it?
That was great. How was it for you, darling?
It was wonderful.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, you know, all those marvellous venues you have in Toronto. What can you say? I just hope we play the big one next time.
Yeah.
A lot of memories.
Yeah, we can't keep going down playing these little things and then big things and.
That's kind of how it goes, though, really, isn't it? Little things and big things, little things and big things.
All of that we showed you because all of that leads up to this. You guys have sold over 30 million albums worldwide, and for the first time ever you've done an album of covers. Some interesting choices. You're going to see what we mean right now. We're going to get you guys inside because in just a few minutes we're going to go live across the nation with Duran Duran. Phone, fax, do whatever you have to communicate with these guys, ask them whatever you want. We're going to show you the first video off of that album, which is called
White Lines.
And then Duran Duran live on Much. Let's go. Thank you for joining us. 15 years in 3 hours, and to look at the future. Hi, everybody outside. We're live on the air here. Duran Duran is here. Simon, John, Nick, Warren, the whole gang. Nick, I see that you brought your own camera along.
Yeah, this is for the box, actually. It's another show.
So just say hi, I'm the VJ from, and you're watching the
I
box.
work for MuchMusic. My name's Monica Diol, and all these people are going to help me host this show.
Yeah.
We're also going to have folks phoning, going to have folks faxing, as well as sending us email. In fact, you know what we should do is put those numbers up on the screen right now. Let's do that.
Let's see those computer terminals.
Anytime. Here we go. All right. Well, you know what? In the meantime, I want to ask you guys. Let's talk about Thank You. Let's talk about 1995. What songs are on it, and how did you pick them?
Well, the songs vary. I think that the biggest depth is between Bob Dylan's song Lay Lady Lay and the Public Enemy song 911 is a joke.
Yeah.
Johnny chose 911 as a joke.
Why is that, John?
Well, I really liked that album that it came from, and for about 2 years I thought Public Enemy were making the most interesting music around. And rap had kind of gotten a bad rap from a lot of white musicians, and black musicians actually. I thought it was good to pay homage.
Now see, when we think of Duran Duran, we don't think that you guys listen to Public Enemy sitting in your homes.
What do you think we listen to?
I don't know. Roxy Music.
Right.
You know?
Been there, done that.
It's not what. We do listen to Roxy Music.
We're very influenced by everything that comes out, everything that's around us. We pick up on, and we get the best out of everything that's out in the moment. So right now we like Portishead.
Okay, well we have a caller standing by right now. Lisa in PEI should be standing by. Lisa, are you there?
Yeah, but I'm in Moncton, New Brunswick.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hi, guys.
Hello.
What I wanted to ask about was the Waiting for the Night Boat video that was on the compilation with all the other videos with Save a Prayer and Planet Earth and Careless Memories. Whatever happened to that? I never see it.
What do you mean you never see it? You never see it on TV?
Well, I know, but I asked to play it on TV and nobody ever wants to play it.
Well, that's because they didn't even know it existed. Monica just asked me, she said, is there really a night boat video? I said, there is actually, yeah.
Where was it shot?
In Antigua, down at the Nelson's dock there, mostly.
Nelson's dock, yeah.
In fact, we actually have our manager, our ex-manager, covered in flour and water. Like
hanging upside down.
Yeah, hanging upside down.
Yeah, it's a really cool video. And is there going to be an audio release of the Unplugged in Canada?
No.
We hope so one day.
He thinks so. I think
No, I hope so. I don't know.
I think it'll always exist on video.
Yeah.
I think it's always
pirate video is going to be about the best.
Which, you know what, is also interesting because the very first line of Too Much Information was destroyed by MTV, and then within months you guys do an MTV Unplugged. What is the deal with that?
We're hypocrites.
I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking, you know, it's the way to get people is to get people on your side is to insult them.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that
if CNN had rhymed, it could have been them, you know.
Yeah. It's actually Destroy My MTV.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Yeah, because, you know, they had that whole kind of, that slogan, I want my MTV. I wanted to kind of write the opposite, Destroy My MTV.
Okay. Folks outside, you okay? Yeah?
It's a bit chilly out there, isn't it? If you all squeeze really close together, you know, you get much warmer.
What's the body count on the day so far?
You know what? It's into hundreds and thousands now.
Millions, I think.
believe.
Millions.
No, seriously. There was like at least, I don't know, 1,000 over down there at the store, and we've got hundreds outside here. So it's getting insane. I want to talk to you about a couple of faxes we got. Okay, one is very cool. People really get into artwork when they send faxes for Duran Duran. Check it out. Okay, this one is from, let's see here, Brad in Calgary. And he says, when the heck are you coming to Calgary? You've been promising for years. I'll even chip in for your traveling expenses.
Do you know
Brad,
what, Brad,
to hold you to that.
You know what, Brad? We're coming really soon, you know what I mean?
What does that mean? And then it says from Mike in Brampton, are you going to be touring for the Thank You album?
No, we're not touring.
You're not going to tour at all?
No, because we've got our own music in progress back in London. I think it's important for this group to write, and it's been a long time since we've written. We have to keep that thing going.
Okay, and then we got this one.
Very good.
This one's quite cool.
Isn't it?
Can we just zero in on that, Connie? Check it out. Caricatures of you guys. Read it out, Simon. You can see it.
Okay.
Oh, you just took it off?
Sorry.
That's okay.
Nick wrote, we're here to promote our new album, thank you. Me, we've covered everybody from Dylan to the Doors. Warren, it's definitely the best thing we've ever done. Album? We made an album? When did that happen?
And who's that from?
That's Joe Grimshaw for JGM, for JMG Graphics, 386 Route 11,
yeah, okay.
Champlain
All right,
Railway.
that's very nice. Okay, thanks a lot.
Well, that was
shameless plugs. Shameless plugs. I'll tell you what, we also have a Speaker's Corner. Do you guys know what that is?
No, well, we have one in London. It's the same kind of thing.
When?
Sunday.
Oh,
and
yeah.
on Sunday, anybody can go up and stand on this thing and say anything they like, as long as they don't insult the Queen.
Okay, I think that we actually had ours first, to be honest. Yeah, we did.
Oh, I would be very surprised.
How long have you guys had yours?
What's it called?
Speakers Corner. Speakers Corner. It's there when they
Canadian British
Yeah, it's this
going on
competition
here.
thing. Well, I think it's been there as long as there was a hangman's noose at
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've been hanging people at Marble Arch.
Well, we've had
a
ours
long
since before TV was
Invented.
Is that before Alexander the Great?
Before.
Well, we've
Let's have a
had
look at
ours.
Speaker's Corner.
We've had ours
Listen
since
up.
before.
Listen up, guys.
Was
See if
that
you answer
Alexander the
this.
Great what? Alexander the Great bloke?
Duran Duran throughout the 80s always talked about their influences such as Roxy Music and Chic. And I was just wondering how it feels to have some of the hottest acts in Britain today, such as Elastica and Menswear, mention Duran Duran as a major influence.
There you have it.
Feels
There's your
great.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you hear the question?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I really like Elastica. I think, you know, they've got a really good energy, and it's always nicer if younger bands have been into your band, of course. I mean, I suppose what goes around comes around. I mean, I would like to think that some of the people we covered are pleased that we've covered them and that we were into their music, you know.
Go on.
Warren, over to you.
Well, we've been around long enough. We've been making music for a long enough time where these kids that are picking up instruments now are going to be listening to early 80s music when they bring their creativity to where they're at right now in 1995.
But why do you think this whole looking back phenomenon is happening right now? I mean, when it comes to fashion, when it comes to special nights at clubs, everyone's looking
people are
back.
scared of the future half the time, you know, and especially as we're coming to the end of this millennia, you know, I mean, you could really go crazy trying to determine what's going to happen in the 21st century, you know. I think over the next couple of years, people will start going crazy. It's like we're getting rid of the last retro kind of think for this century, and in the next couple of years, everybody's just going to start focusing on the 21st century.
It comes right back to what I just said, because music a lot of time dictates where the fashion trends go. It does happen that way a lot. And since there's kids that are growing up on the early 80s music right now, it's 15 years later, you know, when they come out with their band and their album and their image and they're doing things that they thought were cool, you know, drawing on the influences that made them want to become musicians, that's what happens.
Okay, did I hear that you brought a guitar with you?
Well, I kind of hired one.
Okay, well, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back and I'll see if I can wrestle these guys into playing something live for us. Duran D-Day here at MuchMusic Live. Duran Duran is in the house. Please phone us, fax us, also email us if you feel like getting really high tech. Right now we're going to get low tech. We're going to get totally unplugged here. Tell us what we're about to hear, Simon.
Yeah, we're going to play a song written by The Doors. It's on our new album, Thank You. It's called Crystal Ship. And it's very quiet.
Okay, so we need
Right.
a quiet ambience.
Before you slip into unconsciousness, I'd like to have another kiss, another flashing chance at bliss, another kiss, another kiss. The days are bright and filled with pain. Enclose me in your gentle rain. The time you ran was till insane. We'll meet again. We'll meet again. So tell me where
lies. The streets are fields that never die. Deliver me from reasons why you'd rather cry. I'd rather fly. The crystal ship is being filled. 1,000 girls, 1,000 thrills, a million ways to spend your time. When we get back, I'll drop a line. Thank you.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, you can grab a seat. I'll get this mic out of your way. Here we go. I think right now we should take another phone call. Let's do that. I think now we have Lisa from PEI standing by. Lisa, tell me you're there, please.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, ask away.
Hi guys.
Hi. Hello. Hello.
Hello. I really like the video White Line.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Was that a conscious message, like because of drugs? Did you want to have a message through that, or?
Well, you know, Lisa, the song really is a message. The words go, white lines blow away, and by that it's white lines don't disappear, white lines kill people. Cocaine is a killer. And I think we would be pretty stupid not to have realised that, and obviously by recording that song and putting it out, we are making that point very clearly. Yes, it is a message. You know, white lines don't do it.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. That's a really, really great message. I just want to say hi, Nick.
Hello.
I really, really think you're the best in the band, but...
Oh.
At what?
Thank you very much.
Favoritism.
Okay.
Okay, Lisa, thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. You know what I'm going to do? These poor people outside, standing outside in the cold.
What are you going to do? Invite
I
them
say
in for
that
a
we
cup of
should
tea?
invite them in for tea. Should we do that?
Invite them for
Everybody?
a cup of tea, fine.
Are you going to make it? Because I'm not that domestic, Simon.
No, how are you going to make it? Ha ha ha. You wouldn't want
Let's
my
walk
tea.
over the window here. Don, can you get the window open? And hi, guys. Hand them over. Well, this is the close-up sort of. All at once now.
It's so cold.
No. Let's come over here. Does anybody have a question that they want to ask Duran personally right now? What's your name, sir?
Enrico.
And you're from where?
Scarborough.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Okay, my question is to any member of the band. Warren was with the band for many years, and then you finally made him a band member. What would it take for a drummer, and how long, and was there anybody that really could have made it, such as Sterling Campbell, Fergus Durant?
Okay, guys, what's it going to take for you to get a permanent drummer?
Well, the thing was, we couldn't replace Warren with a drum machine.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's great for us being able to use a lot of different drummers at the moment. We're so used to it now as being a four-piece. I mean, Warren has really been with us since '86, even though he didn't really write with us until he moved over to London in '89. You know, we are the unit now, and I can't see taking on a full-time drummer.
It works like it is now. You know, I don't think there's any point in changing that. You know that Roger came back and worked with us on Thank You. He played on Watching the Detectives and on Perfect Day. We did a video with him for Perfect Day, and we did a TV appearance in the UK with him.
Are you a drummer?
Are you?
No.
No.
Okay, next question. Somebody else have a question? Okay. Hang on. Let's get a girl to ask a question. What would you like to ask?
Do you still keep in touch with Andy and Roger?
Do you still keep in touch with Andy and
We
Roger?
just answered that question regarding...
What about Andy?
Yeah, we see Andy once in a while, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Saw him in Birmingham when we played there.
Yeah. Yeah, we're more in touch with both of them, actually, than we've been in years.
Is there any chance of them ever, of Andy ever playing with you guys? Of them actually joining the band at some point?
One of those kind of like Spinal Tap encores. I don't think so. No.
Okay. Well, let's go over to email now. We have
Email.
Misha over here. Misha, how's it going?
Bye.
Let's hear what our first question is going to be.
Well, we've got a question came in from a guy whose name is Jim Roche. His name I'm sure I'm pronouncing wrong. And he wants to know about if you guys will be singing in the next, the theme song of the next James Bond movie. Next James Bond movie.
Jane Bond movie.
Yeah, the Jane Bond movie. That's what,
We'd love
that's what
to
he has
do that.
written here, but I assume he means James. And he also said that he'd heard that you'd be having some parts in the movie as well.
Guys, you want to answer that?
What? We can't understand what he's saying.
Will you have a song on the next James Bond flick, which is that? Simon, you know what? Honey, you got to sit down because you're wrecking the camera lines.
She's always a director.
You got to sit down in
Always a
your chair
director.
because that's where you're lit. You're wandering around.
Yeah, we perfected that.
Yeah, James
You
Bond.
perfected that leg angle. Yeah, it's really. I've been noticing that.
Yeah.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Short skirts, you got to get
You
that,
really
that,
got that
angle
down.
down. Don't tilt the camera down, Connie.
Would we be up for it? Would we be up for it?
James Bond movie.
Any movie. Anybody that's got a movie, we have the songs for it. Don't worry.
Yeah? So there's nothing in the works because there is one coming out with Pierce Brosnan.
They've not talked to us about it.
No. Huh? Because
I think
that's
it'd be very,
actually
very, very
what.
unlikely that we do it because I don't think anybody's ever done two.
No.
Shirley did,
Shirley
yes. Yes, Shirley did too. But are we as good as Shirley? You have to ask yourself. I mean, come on, you know.
We love Shirley.
So what about
I do love
acting?
Shirley.
What about Andy?
Acting.
Oh, acting. Well, that's another Andy
You
question.
got Andy on the mind here.
Acting, well, I don't think any of us have got any plans at the moment, but I'm sure if the right thing came along, we could have our arms twisted.
Yeah.
Warren couldn't.
Simon, weren't you actually a drama student?
Yeah, I was a drama student for years. I actually went to Hollywood to sort of suss out the scene and see if it was if I
That's
could.
where you met us, wasn't it, Charlie?
Hollywood.
Absolutely.
Hollywood America.
Yeah, Hollywood America, silly. I actually sort of went over there and went to castings and things, and I just came back with the feeling that there's just too much arse to kiss.
Really?
Yeah, it's much. The music industry is so much straighter than the film industry, and the music industry is pretty scary at times.
They all wanted to cast you as a romantic leading man as well, didn't they?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And your
I had to snuggle these. They wanted me to snuggle these beautiful girls, and I really wasn't up for it.
Bonus. Fax us.
Bad for your
Send us email. Take a quick break. We'll be right back with Duran Duran live on MuchMusic. Back live. This is Duran Duran live on MuchMusic. Phone, fax. Send us email. Please send us questions. We have.
Send us money.
We have send us money.
Conversation.
Actually, I'm trying to keep some kind of control over you guys because you're well known for sort of
not being controllable.
What's that? What's that?
Control freak too.
Yes, I am.
That makes five of us.
Okay. Have you guys heard? This is a fax from Michaela in Toronto. Have you guys heard Hull's version of "Hungry Like the Wolf"? And what do you think of it?
I haven't heard it.
I heard about 25 seconds of it.
Yeah, I think that's about as long as it is.
Is it? It was very slow and it didn't
What did
seem
you
like
think?
there was a lot of effort put into it. It was just kind of.
I haven't heard it either.
I'm looking forward to hearing it.
I want to hear it.
They did it on Unplugged, apparently, yeah. So we'll
okay.
hear it.
The
We will
rival
hear it.
stations.
All right. Tracy, are you on the phone right now?
I am.
Hello,
Hi.
Trace.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
That's great. I'm wondering, what has kept you psychologically grounded throughout your career? Because you've gone through, ebbs and flows and whatnot. And I'm just wondering what has kept you.
A fortune spent on analysts.
Psychologically grounded, wow.
What exactly gave you the impression that they are psychologically grounded, Tracy?
Well, they just seem very, I don't know, they're able to handle their success, I guess, and for a lot of people that's really difficult.
Tracy, are you on the phone right now?
I am.
Hello,
Hi.
Trace.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
That's great. I'm wondering, what has kept you psychologically grounded throughout your career? Because you've gone through, ebbs and flows and whatnot, and I'm just wondering what has kept you.
A fortune spent on analysts.
Psychologically grounded, wow.
What exactly gave you the impression that they are psychologically grounded, Tracy?
Well, they just seem very, I don't know, they're able to handle their success, I guess, and for a lot of people that's really difficult, but they seem to be able to do it well.
You know, I've got a good answer to that question. I actually have. Oh, that's
Not
not
the
camera.
truth, but it is an
It's
answer.
not the truth, but it's quite entertaining.
But it's an answer, it'll work.
The thing is, like, there's four of us all together. We are very good friends, and when anybody starts to kind of get a little bit out of order, then there's three guys to really kind of slap him about a bit and to bring him back down to earth. You know, we come from, well, Nick and John and I obviously come from similar kind of backgrounds, and we have the same kind of experiences to compare with life, and our sense of humour is the same, and we laugh a lot at the same sort of things. And then there's Warren's sense of humour, which is quite amazing. And we have a lot of fun, and I think that's the kind of thing that really keeps you grounded, is when you enjoy what you do, and we really do.
And is it hard to balance family with music?
Well, it's hard when you've got to go away all the time. Yeah, it's quite depressing when your kid grabs hold of your leg and starts to cry and says, "Daddy, I don't want you to go." Yeah, that's really upsetting.
And you've got 3 kids now?
Yeah. Battery low.
Nick, what about you? Kids?
Yeah, I've got one. Yes.
Son, daughter?
Daughter, female, yes. Gender is female.
Yes, I've got one. 3 years old.
Oh, Warren?
Stepson, 11 years old.
Ah,
And he's a groovy cat.
Yeah.
Groovy.
Okay, well listen, we're going to take a speaker's corner.
Speaker's corner.
Speaker's corner, let's get
Now,
it.
the
See, she's
question
losing
from the
control.
street.
She's losing control again.
High-tech
Sit
corner.
down. Behave yourself.
We have a question for Duran Duran, right?
Yep, question.
We want to know, what happened to Roger and Andy? What the hell? Where'd they go?
I have absolutely no idea.
Where did Roger and Andy go?
Roger
Okay.
and Andy.
What
well,
are they doing now?
They were last spotted in Antarctica in the late 1980s, but we get messages in sometimes saying they're still alive. Andy sometimes from Los Angeles, Roger sometimes spotted in the Cotswolds in England, but we just don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know, seriously.
Just don't know.
Didn't Roger
He was spotted in
turn
one of
to
our
farming?
videos
Didn't he?
recently, actually.
Which one?
The Perfect Day video.
Yeah.
He's singing behind the drums.
Which we have a very small portion of.
Do you?
Yes, we do.
But do you have the
we
portion with
scanned
Roger in it?
that. I don't know, actually, but you know what? We'll play that later.
Okay.
Right now, what is your all-time favorite video as a band?
We said,
As a band.
By anybody?
Johnny said the Sex Pistols. God Save the
I
Yeah?
thought Pretty Vacant's better than God Save the
well, they got Pretty Vacant. I mean, if they got Pretty Vacant, then great.
Yeah.
One of them.
Yeah.
One
We'll
of
take
them.
one of them.
Okay, I'll
God
tell you
Save
what.
the
Which
Queen
one do
or-
we have? We have God Save the Queen,
That'll
the
do.
Sex
All right.
Pistols by special request from Duran Duran.
Sorry, Sex Pistols, God Save the Queen.
No, I was going to say Duran Duran's favorite video. God Save the Queen, Sex Pistols.
Sorry.
Why?
I guess it, well,
What's
for
so
me,
special?
it was the song that signalled the beginning of
The end.
my, it's the beginning of my personal involvement with this whole kind of, yeah, music really.
Yeah?
It
Duran
made-
Duran continues live on Much, right after this break.
A knife for a knife, a tooth for a tooth. Vote for me, I'll set you free. Rap on, brother, rap on.
On Much Music here. This is our 3rd hour of Duran Duran. Straight.
I hope you don't repeat it immediately after.
No future
For you.
Go on.
We're just wasting time.
We haven't got time to waste. We have a lot to cram
We
in
have a
here.
flight to catch.
We have,
Talk
yes
about
you do.
cramming.
But right now we're going to try to cram another question in from the window. Somebody else have a question out there? Let's get that window opened up again.
It's the window question.
Look, what's your name?
Helen.
Helen. And you're from where, Helen?
I'm from Toronto. Yeah.
And you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question for the guys. I understand you've been working on a new album, and I want to know what musical direction you're going to be taking in this album.
A new studio album?
Yeah. Well, we've been working. We spent about 5 weeks. We got about 16 new songs that are kind of beyond the germ stage. And it's kind of melodically, it's very, it hints at new wave kind of tonalities, but there's no lyrics or anything. It's just something about the melodies that sound very young and
Yes, there
new
are.
wave.
There are some lyrics.
Oh, there's lyrics.
I just haven't
Let's
told
hear
it.
some.
I just haven't
Let's hear it for the lyrics. We have a working title.
Which is what?
It's called Medazzaland.
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 And what does that mean?
Which means I know it's something you get intravenously when you're in the hospital. I don't know, whatever that means.
Sure.
It could be a concept album.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we should take another phone call. I believe we have Naomi standing by on the phone. Naomi, are you there?
Naomi.
Hello?
Naomi.
Hi.
This is Marlon Brando.
Oh, you're right.
Hello, Naomi.
Hello?
What is Naomi?
Chat away.
That's great on Larry King. Speak.
Okay. Which video was the funnest doing?
Funnest doing. Actually, the White Lines video was really fun to make because we did it all in one day, and we did it with Nick Egan, who's a friend of ours who did the Ordinary World video, and it's great because it's like he joins the band and becomes a member, and we all just do it together, and by 3 a.m. in the morning we can go home and know we got a video. It's great.
Yeah. I prefer the Perfect Day video because we didn't have to sit in a Winnebago all day. We lost the Winnebago. We did it the day after White Lines.
And we got to take our shoes off and walk around on that Saturday.
Yeah. We were playing in a big red padded cell, so that was kind of nice.
Quite comfortable, wasn't it?
Yeah, very comfortable.
That's in answer to the question that came earlier about sanity.
Has the craft of making videos changed? I mean, you've been doing it for a long time, and you're awfully good at it. Has it changed over the past 15 years?
I guess it has, actually, but it's funny, it's not the kind of thing you really think about, because we've always been making videos. It hasn't really gone by like a period of longer than about 6 months when we haven't done one. Maybe longer. But the fact is, you change with it, and you keep up there, and it's it's a great opportunity. You get these cameras there, you get this director there. There's people like who are at the height of their careers, and they're all looking at you, so you kind of bring the best out of yourself for them.
Okay, well, as I said, we have a tiny, and I do mean a tiny piece.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. That's all we have. So we did see Roger.
Yeah, you did see Roger.
Looked like him anyway.
Yep.
Of course it was Roger. Now we have Stefan standing by on the phone from Montreal. Stefan, you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Well, thank you.
Okay, I have a question for Simon.
Yeah.
About the track on the new album I just bought this morning, 11 Drive By. There's this, it's like this piece of poetry on music or something. It's really great, and I wanted to ask you about that. Is that something you plan to do on the next album too, or?
Well, that song.
Yeah.
That kind of
that kind of song. That it's, I know you're into poetry, Keats, Shelley, and that sort of thing. It sounds a bit like William Burroughs. You know what I mean, like that.
That's very nice of you to say so. Thank you very much. Well, actually, I haven't done anything like that on so far with the piece of music that we're working on, which is kind of the pre-demo stage, really. But it's something that we can do, and something that we like doing because it's very powerful kind of style, really. I think it's very powerful music. So there you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Stefan. I believe we have Robin now, standing by in Calgary. Robin?
Hi.
Hi.
This is really exciting.
We think so too, thank you.
I can't believe I got through. Anyway, I grew up in the 80s just like totally loving Duran Duran, but never ever really questioned the images of women in your videos, the skimpy, scantily clad women. I was just wondering, what was your main motivation behind putting those women in your videos, and because of the surge towards political correctness these days, I was just curious what your views are on that.
We're not very politically correct at all. We're just not.
And we all love women. Our mothers are women.
Yeah.
To quote Mike Tyson.
I don't know. I think we exploited women, actually, quite definitely. But they look great, and we exploited ourselves as well.
That's it.
I don't think it's really a problem. I hope nobody else thinks it's a problem.
I don't know. I just never questioned it. I just think it's really interesting now, looking back and seeing them. I mean, it's pretty 80s too, but
I really feel like we should have lots and lots and lots of scantily clad women in our next video, actually.
I was saying the same thing. You always get the most requests on video shows that way.
Go for it.
The best do Lay Lady Lay next thing.
Yeah. Maybe we should do like a butt video for the next one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah? Do you like butt videos?
A what?
Do you like butt videos? Those kind of rap and R&B videos where you get lots of girls in bathing suits on the beach waving their bum at the camera?
Well, I don't know.
I like them. I think they're great.
I don't know about that one.
How about you, Monica? What do you think? You like those?
I like your videos. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Thanks a lot, Robin.
Okay.
Thank you. We have now a fax. We also have email coming in just a second, but first a fax that says, how did it feel to receive a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? And that's from Sherry
How would it?
in Nova Scotia.
No, that's how did
How
it.
did it
How
feel?
did it?
Mm. Yeah. Oh yeah, we've got one.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So
great.
she's
but
asking how it felt.
I heard they were digging up some of Hollywood Boulevard for something, and I was really paranoid that it was going to be our area No, and ours is that it on wouldn't go Vine. back. Ours But then is on Vine. I realised it was on Vine, so it was okay.
Let's get to that email, shall we? Now, Simon, I'm going to walk over there and check out email, and you're going to stay here. Yes,
you're
please.
controlling again.
Please, yes, I am. Well, somebody has to control this. Darn it. Let's go over here. Misha, what's our next question? over
Well,
here?
the next one comes from Duarte de Silva, and he writes, in your White Lines video, the band has a hot, modern look. Was that look established by a stylist, or is it the band's
Have a what
personal
look?
sense of style? Your hot, modern look
Hot
is what
modern,
it
a
says.
hot modern look, fellas. That's us. Woohoo! Rock
Okay.
and roll. That's us. That's natural.
That's the kind of look we wake up with in the morning. You know, we kind of, the alarm clock goes off at 7 o'clock in the morning, and suddenly you jump out of bed and you've got this hot modern look.
Okay, we'll tell Duarte. Thanks.
Thanks, Duarte. Simon, thank you. That was very well done. And you
I
stayed
thought
in
I
your
stayed
light.
in my
And,
lighting
yes,
as
you
well.
did. You stayed in your light. I noticed that. Very good. Very good. So, we're almost out of time because you do have to catch a flight. Anything else that you want to tell us about Thank You?
Yes, it's really well worth going to your shop and buying.
Shameless plug. Yes, go ahead.
It's full of pictures of naked women.
Uh-huh.
And men.
And suggestions for videos on a postcard. To Monica, care of MuchMusic, Canada.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So let's actually find out about your favorite video from your own band. Favorite Duran Duran video.
We kind of agreed on Ordinary World.
Yeah.
Ordinary
Yeah.
World. Why?
It's just a real beauty to it, and I think we're a little bit vain, and we like to look good, and we all look good in that video. It's got some beautiful things in it. The garden looks fabulous, and I just love that hat that the girl is wearing.
The gown is beautiful with the bow across the front.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous. Just want to ask you one thing now. Do you think that it would have been easier for you guys if you weren't so image conscious?
Easier.
Easier to be sort of accepted by the media, to not, because people
would have
were always so
thought-
quick to take shots at you. Do you think that it would have been easier if you had done the sort of greasy hair,
But
never
if we get dressed up and feeling good, when we feel good, when we put on the right kind of clothing, whether it's here or underneath what I might be wearing underneath these trousers,
And
it makes
very
you play better.
expensive.
Makes you perform better. It's all part of it. It's like picking up a guitar is the same thing as putting on a pair of PVC trousers or putting enough, a lot of hairspray or putting makeup on.
I think there's no
you
question.
need it.
If we'd been uglier, there's no question we would have got better reviews from those ugly male rock critics.
Yeah.
No question.
I actually saw a photograph of the managing director of Q magazine the other day.
Well, there you
Say
go.
no more.
Okay. Any last words? Talking to Chan that I hear? Any last words?
Oscar Wilde's last words. This wallpaper's killing me. One of us has got to go.
And Marlon Brando on his Connie Chung interview said, what was that all about?
There you go.
Thank You is in stores today. It's an album of covers, and we're anxiously awaiting for your own stuff to come out. When do you think? The next studio
1996,
album?
could be the spring, maybe
Really?
the summer. Definitely.
Year away
Within
still.
a year, we're going for it.
Yeah, well, even though we're contractually not able to bring out an album within a year of the last release anyway, so.
But we're going to have our analysts speak to the record company about it.
Yes.
Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
How
So
many
we're gonna
hours was this? How many
This was 3 hours of
3
Duran
hours.
Duran. The folks in the window want to cheer goodbye. So yeah,
Thanks,
please
guys.
say goodbye.
We
We're
want to
going to go out on
thank
Duran
everybody.
Duran's favorite video, Ordinary World, and then my favorite Duran Duran video, Come Undone. Thanks very
that's a
much
good
for
one.
joining
All right.
us. It was a great show. I had a great time. You guys were wonderful. You're so accommodating and sweet. Come back any old time you want, yeah?
Yeah.
Watch out for yourself on the box.
Yes.
Bye-bye.